Triple H is confirming a massive change for WWE Raw on Netflix. We're going to talk about that plus so much more right here on The Ango Show.
Yes.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to The Ango Show. I want to kick things off with an update surrounding Penta. Obviously, there's been a lot of rumors about Penta maybe leaving AEW and whatnot. He recently spoke to Comiendo Carnitas. Hopefully I have pronounced that correctly. But he addressed the report about him potentially leaving AEW for WWE. He says it was only a rumor, never a request to me or my agent. Meanwhile, we got in when AEW offered a contract. The rumor was made because my contract expires by August, September, and when that rumor popped up, I had forgotten about that. And then my agent confirmed that. You know how information could be spread out on social media and how misinterpreted it can get. I don't know how that information about my contract expiring leaked, and I prefer to focus on my present, and my present is currently with AEW. Now, he's not necessarily shutting down the idea of going to WWE, but it's very clear that he's obviously talking about staying in AEW because, well, he is currently signed to AEW. We had talked about this news before, and when it comes to Penta and potentially going to WWE, there's a variety of things that can happen. AEW could very well retain him as well. I think one thing that we do need to look at is overall how WWE presents talent, especially international talent coming in. We know that was a major thing for Triple H to kind of change the perspective of. I know a lot of people have kind of looked at this in a way where, if he leaves AEW for WWE, it's a good thing, right? Because they say, hey, this is another talent that WWE brings in from AEW and whatnot. But I think people need to look at this from a different perspective, in which that WWE bringing in AEW talent, it doesn't happen as frequently as a WWE talent going to AEW, right? If WWE brings in Penta, what do they do with him? How do they bring him into the company and fit him in a way where he is viewed as important as some of the other talent? And in pro wrestling, people tend to think, oh, you just give him a championship, or, oh, you put him in the main event and like that's it. But there's so much more to it. So with Penta, there's matchups I would love to see with him in WWE. 1000%. I want to watch Gunther and Penta. I would love to watch Penta go into WWE and have some very big time matches with guys like Cody Rhodes, who obviously came from AEW. But I would like to see that. I would like to see him mix it up with, maybe Jacob Fatu, or there's just a variety of matches. But the thing is, we need to understand that him going to WWE currently as it stands, it's not guaranteed to happen. And just because there's matchups I would want to see there, it doesn't necessarily mean that I think he'll be successful in WWE. I think from a monetization standpoint and, building a character and selling masks and things like that, yes, I think WWE would be able to utilize him correctly. From a booking perspective, WWE is crowded, so it is something to obviously pay attention to. I want to turn our attention to Rhea Ripley. This is a big deal because obviously we know Rhea Ripley is currently out of television. WWE may have plans to bring her onto TV, even if it means that she is not cleared. Keep in mind, Dave Meltzer previously reported that Rhea Ripley is undergoing shoulder rehabilitation instead of surgery. Now, Fightful Select has reported that sources indicated that they have things currently constructed on television so that Rhea Ripley can slide in and return to the program whenever she is ready. There is also this belief that Rhea Ripley could return in a non-wrestling capacity if she is needed. There has been internal talk about her involvement in the world title program upon her return. And obviously, I think everybody knows that makes a lot of sense. That's probably the reason why Liv Morgan currently holds the belt. But there have been many creative decisions that have been made in her absence that still involve her. So even though she's been injured, it kind of sounds like the way that they're producing the segments with Rhea Ripley not being on TV, but having Liv Morgan hold the belt and Dom Mysterio in the Judgment Day, it's very clear that WWE has something in the works for her. It was told or noted by Fightful that they haven't been told whether there are any active creative plans in order or if the company has inquired with Ripley, but they do hope that she will be on screen in some capacity. So for those who want to see Rhea Ripley wrestle soon, that doesn't sound to be a thing that's going to be happening, right? But if you guys are somebody who wants to see Rhea Ripley on TV and involved in this storyline, that is a possibility. I love Rhea Ripley. I think she's a phenomenal talent. I feel like Liv Morgan has been doing an outstanding job in this storyline. I'm loving the way that it's progressing. I'm loving the way that Dominic Mysterio is handling it all. I love the uncertainty with Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Obviously, the Judgment Day looks very different without Rhea Ripley. Now Carlito's getting involved in their business, but he's not a member of the group. There's a lot of stuff that you could do with Rhea coming back on television without wrestling. Is it needed? No. So far, I think the idea of her being gone even longer helps the story. But if they bring her back onto TV relatively soon, I totally understand why. Completely makes sense. I think it really just comes down to what are you going to do with her when she comes back, in the sense of like, are you going to have her take the belt off of Liv Morgan immediately, or do you have Rhea Ripley lose that? You know, that's the stuff that I want to see. That's the stuff that I'm more interested in, but we'll find out. And that brings us to our final topic of today's video. Triple H on the Pat McAfee show confirmed something that I think we all kind of knew was going to happen, but we didn't know for sure if it was going to happen. And that is part of the Raw on Netflix deal. One of the things that kind of got brought up was like, obviously the holy shit chants and stuff like that. Triple H says, hey, like there are going to be no restrictions on this. Being on Fox, if the crowd chants holy shit or something worse, they take the audio out. Sometimes they take the picture and the audio out and it's a black screen. You know, they're not going to have those issues with Netflix is what he's telling us. So Triple H is hyping up the Netflix deal. They're not using the terminology TV 14, but it is very clear that WWE in today's day and age right now, they're showing more blood. They are doing a little bit more. I'm not going to call it the Attitude Era, but I think with WWE Raw moving to Netflix, I don't think it matters if it's TV 14 or not. You know what I mean? I think WWE ultimately at the end of the day will do whatever they can to produce the best television possible. And to produce the best television possible, it's all about your stories and your character development. You add in blood, you add in swear words. Like if you do it in a way that's like proper, it's not a big deal. If you do it just for the sake of shock value, I don't think it helps. But I am glad that Triple H has confirmed this change is happening where they're not going to be censored, because one of the big things about WWE on USA or Fox is that, you know, there's a promo on TV and you get holy shit chants or whatever. And, you know, it's like every 2 seconds, it's what? You know what I'm saying? Like you're confused. Like you hear random words being brought in and then they're muting it and it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. So this is a massive change. Very excited about it. Keep in mind, it will not be applied to SmackDown or NXT unless they have major changes themselves from their TV networks. But WWE Raw on Netflix, it's a game changer. I'm excited about it. What do you guys think? Let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, that is The Ango Show.